Hello, everybody, and welcome to round number 10, the midpoint of the season here in Las Vegas at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for 67 laps in a first of two of the double headers, as this is a new thing that's happening this year with the double headers here in Las Vegas, where after the finish is done, we will reverse the finishing order and do it again, as we did in Mid-Ohio the past few seasons. But starting on the front row is Alexander Rowe getting pole position, breaking the hopes of a Fitzwater 1-2. I'm not sure how many poles he's ever gotten in his career. It's been a lot. But Alexander Rowe gets one here today. I believe his first of the season alongside Max Anderson, last week's winner in Sonoma after digging through the field to take the win. We'll see if he can get two in a row here today like he did last season. On row 2, you got Zachary Fitzwater Sr., who looked pretty strong in practice today. We'll have to see if he can get past the two in front of him and dominate this race. He won here in Season 2 alongside Vance Caldwell for Epic Motorsports, the first of the Toyotas, the first non-Dodge on the grid. So can Caldwell get through these Dodges and bring Toyota to victory lead? On row 3, you got William Duncan and Jeffrey Finguy. Duncan has not had a win since Season 1. Jeffrey Finguy got one last season in Kansas. On row 4, you got Jordan Ron, who does not have a win to his name in all 4 seasons now. He's looking to get his first here today alongside Kieran Malcher, who got his first earlier this season. And on row 5, you got Steven Thompson for Savasport, who looked very strong here today, this weekend. We'll see if he can get a possible win here today alongside Bobby Jones for Epic Motorsports. His teammate 3 rows up. Can he dig through the pack to reach him? Other threats in the pack, you got Paul Jackson back here in P11. Could definitely be a threat, as the inside is actually a better line for the starts. So we'll have to see how he can do. All 3 Monarchs sit right here. Windhelm, the team leader, and then Caesar and Scott right beside him. So looking good for them. But another bad qualifying goes out for Scott Roush. He sits back in 28th, but his championship rival very close. But the problem, both of their championship rival Alexander Rowe is currently leading the race. He will start on pole position. Here's John Art, who also had a not so good qualifying. He was very strong in practice. We'll have to see if he can dig through the pack. William Carlson Jr. as well, Carson Bowers, Lorenzo Log. There's a few people back here who just didn't have the practice they would have wanted. But it could all turn around, because this is Vegas. The first of 2 races in the doubleheader. These are worth full points. These are full races, meaning the win here counts as a win in the books. Pace car is coming in now, and Alexander Rowe will lead it down to the green flag here in Las Vegas to get to midpoint of the season begun. Green flag in the air. It seemed that Anderson actually got a little bit of a better start, but that inside can play wonders in turn 1. And it's going to Rowe, going to try to clear Anderson, and he will. Rowe now leads here in Vegas, but Fitzwater really looking. Rowe has not gotten a win so far this season. I don't think he got one last season either, despite his strength. We'll have to see what he can do here today, as he now has his teammate on the inside, but the inside had a big jolt of loss of momentum, and now Fitzwater is able to clear Duncan for second. Duncan clears for third, and Gerardo Ron clears for fourth. Now, here comes Steven Thompson with help from Paul Jackson. That's an interesting combo, as they're going to come through. Steven Thompson challenging for fourth. Jackson Epic Motorsports is here. And they're not here to play around. Thompson takes the 4th position. For Sabasport, they really need a good performance, but Jackson's just going to dump down the inside. He don't need help anymore because he wants to lead this little pack, this second pack, as there seems to be a 3-car breakaway beginning. But now Anderson versus Jardaron. Jardaron is losing positions ever since he was taken by Thompson. Brock's been gaining position. What about some of the bigger guys we expect? Scott Roush. Not really. John Arndt. Not really. And Thundersport not having a day they wanted. Clever Haas, these two aren't having a good day, but Jardaron's all the way up here. Fighting once again with Thompson. He's in the top 10. But right now, it's Rowe, Fitzwater, Duncan, Jackson, and Caldwell. Epic Motorsports is on the way. Toyota has been strong, but only for them. This team has found a way to click with Toyota. No other team really ever has. But here comes Zachary Fitzwater Sr. for the lead of the race. He's won here before, and he'll try to do it again. Coming to lap 8, and he is leading. But Duncan soon going to make that move. We knew this 3-car pack would break up eventually, and there would be some tussling, and now it's Fitzwater versus Duncan for the lead. Jackson going to play this game. Tried to help Duncan to the lead when Duncan couldn't get it done. Jackson dives low, and his old rival is the only one standing in his way between himself and first. But Caldwell, his team owner, wants it. Caldwell jumps low. Barack is here. Jardaron finally got low because he got cleared. Out. What about Roush? Roush starting to put on a few moves, but nothing too big just yet. He needs more than that. Now it's Brock versus Fitzwater. This is for the lead. Can Brock complete the pass? Oh, a little bit of loss of momentum, and here comes Jackson. Both of them lost the momentum. Jackson tails them both. Is he going to help or is he going to betray? He's going to help Brock, his former team owner, push Brock to the lead, and exactly what he did before to Thompson and to Duncan. Jackson dives low on the person he had just helped, and it's not going to work. Second time he's tried to pass Brock, and it's failed once again. Jackson slips back in the second position. This very strong for him, as here's a big pack behind. Dak Jovic's in this now. Jardaron's trying to get in this. Get back in it. Cordell Paulson is losing position. He is out of the top 30, out of a points position. Roush is pretty close to leaving a points position. That's not what they want for their championship because Rowe is all the way up here in the top 10. Not only that, but you're also seeing some other people who could play a factor in the championship after this race, including people like Jackson. Anderson's kind of close. He's not fully there yet, though. But he could definitely close up with this. Brock could close up. Fitzwater definitely could close up. Mulcher could close up this championship. Duncan and Rowe specifically, though. These two seem to be the two strongest at the moment because Duncan is the person who has scored the most top 5s this season at 5. That means most of the time this season we have seen Duncan in a top 5 position, but he is tussling with his teammate. Oh, look at this. The 3 most well-known teams in this league, Full Frontal Motorsports, Epic Motorsports, and Fitzwater Australia, going at it for the lead. Fitzwater Australia did the clean sweep last season, Constructors and Individual Championship, with Fitzwater, with Anderson. Anderson won 3 of the first 10 races last season. He has now gotten 1 win. He's trying to go for a second in his first 10 races this season. Jackson closes the door. Jackson is known for being a very competitive person. He's known for getting aggressive when he needs to. And it's starting to show as he wants to keep this lead. A lot of people have been trading away the lead, but he doesn't want to. Not yet. He wants to lead for a while, at least. If not, dominate the rest of this race, which would be ideal for anyone in this pack. Downey's starting to climb with Jovic. These two are working together. You got Finn guy back here. Jovic's out. Not Jovic. Downey's ally. Those two teams are allied teams. It's now Brock hunting his former teammate, Paul Jackson. Jackson has come close to winning 2 championships in a row, and he wants to make it 3rd time's the charm. He sits 6th in points. After a bad start to the season, he's really turned it around, and he's trying to win here in Vegas, which would be huge. He would start last in the second race of the doubleheader, but it would not matter for him because that is a solid points haul, especially over someone like Scott Roush, who has seemingly dropped off the face of the earth. There he is, being passed by Shepard and Stu Cole. Now Philip Scott, so he's dropping. Now Fitzwater challenges Brock, and Pericles, who has also won here, is up here. All 3 winners here in Vegas of this special event here in Vegas are here. Fitzwater in Season 2. Who did it in Season 1? Oh yeah, Pericles in Season 1, Fitzwater in Season 2, and Anderson in Season 3. All chasing after Paul Jackson, who leads yet another lap here. Lap 23. We expect 1 pit stop in this race if we stay green all the way through, but a lot of people doubt that we will stay green. But Brock has overtaken Paul Jackson. This is for the lead of the race. Jackson going to have to give it up. But with Rowe losing momentum, Jackson's just going to slip right into P2. The problem is, we've said it before, once Brock gets the lead, he is not a person who wants to give it back. But Jackson knows how to win as well. Jackson has 2 wins. Road America Season 2 and Gravis City Season 3. Now he wants to get a Speedway one to his name. Brock has won in so many places, whether Speedway or road course. He's won them all. He knows what to do. Rowe, the pole sitter, has only won 2 races, both of them at Kansas. So Rowe knows how to run a Speedway. Jackson almost won this race last season when a lap car stopped him from reaching Max Anderson. You know who else was stopped? Who got P2 right ahead of Jackson? That's Alexander Rowe. So all of these guys who know how to run a Speedway, the Speedway experience guys are all up here. Finn Guy is now up here. But then you got some shockers, some people who aren't known for their Speedway talents. Jack Halleck, he's known as a roadie. He knows how to get it done on a road course, and he's right up in the thick of things here in Las Vegas. Pericles, he may have won here in Season 1, but he's more of a road course guy himself. He's up here. Jovic's just surprising all around because he hasn't really been anywhere this season. He's P12 in points, but that's just consistent top 15s talking. Has not been in the spotlight yet, but he's in the top 10. He could get there. But it's Jackson leading Rowe here in Las Vegas on lap 30. We're coming to the halfway point in this race. These are not long races. 67 laps may seem like a lot, but it's not long because we're doing a doubleheader. So we had to shorten these races just a little so we can get 2 races in. We'll have this first race, and then soon after, there's going to be another video coming out of the second race of this doubleheader. Then it gets fun, but Steven Thompson trying to move on to the podium. What a performance out of the 55. This is what everyone expected him to do when he got a full-time ride after being in the first 2 Sunoco Royales. He really hasn't performed, though. This is the first time we've really seen energy out of Stephen Thompson as he sits P4. He was strong in practice, he's strong here today. Fitzwater lost all his momentum, and that held up the whole pack behind. This gives a little bit of an edge to the top 5. Has Roush dug through the field at all? No, he's dropped. He's dropped below Paulson. Both of Rowe's championship rivals are out of the points right now, along with Bowers, who has a terrible season so far. Even though he has a win in Watkins Glen, the rest of the season has been terrible. This is something Rowe really needed, and if he can tie it together to make it a win, that would be huge. But he's fighting with Brock. This is letting Jackson get a little bit of a gap before these pit stops come in at about lap 48 to 50. If Jackson can continue to extend this gap and get a decent gap into the pits, even if it's somewhere around a second. We haven't actually gotten the leaderboard up yet. Wow, I was too focused on the race. Jackson leads. Fastest lap on track out of William Brock at the 25.474. Explainable, because he's right here. Downey, who also has a fast lap, he's right here in second, and Jackson is the 3rd fastest. Oh, the pack behind is starting to catch up. This is becoming a huge battle back here. All these people are battling for the same position up here. That's where Jack Halleck is, 7th. Everyone's here. Everyone could take that in the next few laps, depending on how this goes. Any update on the big points contenders? Roush losing more time. He's 34th. Paulson trying to get in the points. Paulson's only 66 points behind. Getting himself into the points would automatically give him about 26 points. That is 26 crucial points in the championship. Roger Ray lacking behind. We expected at least one caution in this race. So far, we have not got it yet. Oh, Brock loses momentum while trying to pass Rowe. Rowe loses momentum on the outside. And Jackson keeping that gap. It may be small, but it's a gap. It's something. Especially when they're going 200 miles an hour around here. What's the gap now? It's 0.12 last time around. That's 1/10 he just gained. But now Rowe fighting with Brock. Not going to get there. Brock trying to close on Jackson. He does not want Paul Jackson to get away. Everyone's starting to spread out a little bit. Let's look through the pack. Yeah, they really spread out. Roman Rahal having a decent day. Not an amazing one, but a decent one. And Paulson's in the points. That's huge. To conquer Scott Roush, that is a huge point. Huge turning point in this race. That Paulson has just gotten into the points. Where is Rowe? How far up is he? 3rd. Rowe would take the points lead at this pace. We would see a new points leader. But Jackson, I believe he's led the most laps so far this race. We are getting ready to pit in the next few laps here. Jackson needs to start getting a little bit more of a gap so he can have a little bit of safety going into the pits. A little bit of a cushion. Especially if someone tries to pull the undercut. We don't know how that's going to work. You never know if the undercut's going to work. But Jackson is not getting that gap he wanted. Instead, Brock has reeled him in. Can Brock get the pass? He looks low. Oh, looks like they touched there on the rear end. On the front end of Brock. Brock can't get to the inside. He's on the rear quarter panel, but he just can't get there. Jackson continues to lead. We're getting close to 20 to go. Jackson still leads, but there's a lap car. That's Roger Ray. Ray is a second a lap slower. 1/10 is what separates Brock and Jackson. Who will be the first pit takers? And where will Jackson make the move on Ray? Oh, he can't. He's gonna have to hold back a little. Maybe get him in this straightaway. Yep. He's gonna dive. Oh, doesn't get there. Now Brock is right on the rear end of Paul Jackson. Next time around, it'll be 20 to go, and Brock tries to make a demanding move down the inside. Can't get there. Jackson holding his own on the outside. Brock still trying to run it deep. Can't get there. And Jackson will retain the lead for the time being. They got around Ray. Who is next in the order? Caldwell is in. Possible issue. No, we have pit takers. Some of the guys near the rear. Oh, Kuznetsov makes some moves. I think there are pit takers. Yeah, there definitely are. And the people behind slow down. This gives Brock and Jackson that little cushion they needed. But they stay. Yep. We have pit takers. Early pit takers. Jackson, Brock, Rowe. Now Thompson. And then Gatlin Downey. Gatlin Downey having one of his best performances of the season as well. Fitzwater and Halleck drafting behind in 6th and 7th. They're all alone out there. Then it's Anderson and Caesar. Caesar is lapped down. He's already coming to the pits. And look at the speed that Caesar has compared to the others. The undercut might work because of that reason alone. Jackson getting that gap, getting that cushion. That cushion could be crucial in the pits. We're on lap 50. We are at the Delta. But no one wants to. No one's budging. We have reached the pit stop Delta and no one is budging yet. Except for those early pit calls. Like Julio Caesar. Jackson has his cushion. Brock calls. I think Brock just called it to the pits. No. He just lost his momentum. Rowe's going to take advantage of that. Alexander Rowe and William Brock fight for second as Jackson continues to lead here in Vegas. Thompson closes on third. Caesar making more moves. Caldwell is here. The amount of time they're making. This might work. 15 laps to go for Paul Jackson. He has to pit. I think the undercut might work, and if it does, it may actually hand a win to Julio Caesar. How many laps is he down? 2. He's got to do 2 laps in the time it takes for Jackson to get to the pits. Can he do it? Jackson has his cushion. This is what I was talking about. This cushion is crucial in the pits. That gap is going to make sure that Jackson doesn't lose the lead and gets jumped by someone like Rowe. You have to take 4 tires in the pits, though. No choice. It's too much time lost if you don't. No pit takers at the front. Everyone still resists. Not just at the front. No one wants to make the call. Everyone has to. You have to make the call eventually. It all matters on the question, when? When will you make it? Who will be the first one to call it? Thompson's the first to call it! Thompson will be the first person to try. Halleck moves around Brock. Brock was stuck behind Thompson, and that's going to cost him a little bit. Jackson, you need to respond to Thompson's strategy. But he won't. Rowe will. Downey will. Halleck will. Everyone's responding except Jackson. This could either be really stupid or really smart. As we're coming to 10 laps to go, can Paul Jackson pull this off? He has to pit. There is no doubt. He's probably in this time. Why are you staying out? Brock makes the call. The last people who need to make that call are now in. Is Jackson wishing for a caution? Because Thompson's undercut may have saved him. But Jackson refuses to come in. There he is! Jackson, the leader, is in. He's led most of this race, but that was a huge overcut. That was like a 3-4 lap overcut. Where? Stephen Thompson jumps Rowe. The undercut. Will it work? Stephen Thompson. Can he pull it off? That's the first lap he's made. Now he's got to go back around. Jackson, in and out as fast as he can. He does not want to let Stephen Thompson steal this away. He does not want to let this win get away from him for a second year in a row. Where is Thompson? There he is! Rowe challenging! They're fighting! And because they're fighting, Jackson's gonna get the position! All he needs to do is warm his tires. He's got the gap to be able to warm his tires by the time they get there. Downey fights with Rowe for second. The 77 is still out on track. Could Eric Monaco pull it off? No. Eric gets through his overcut, his very, very large overcut. That was 2 laps more than Jackson's. Alexander Rowe closes on the 10. Jackson needs to warm his tires, and he just hasn't yet. I think he's done. I think he's good. Is Jackson good on his tires? Because Rowe has closed that gap more and more. Jackson needs to get past Ryan Monaco. There he is. Okay, now, is your tires warm enough to beat Rowe? We're coming to 5 to go, and Rowe is not far. He's been able to defend this entire race from people like Brock and Fitzwater. Now it's Rowe's turn to have a run at Jackson. He comes right to the rear. Less than a tenth. And Rowe tries to dunk it down the inside. But Jackson's been good on the outside today. He keeps the momentum rolling around the outside as Rowe continues to challenge. 4 laps to go for Paul Jackson, and Rowe continues to challenge. He's going to challenge again into turn 1. Will it work this time? Oh, Rowe loses his momentum again. They're side by side. Wheel to wheel. A mistake out of Rowe is what Jackson needs. He tries to run it around the outside. They're still wheel to wheel. 3 laps to go. Oh, that may be the ticket for what Rowe needed. Alexander Rowe, the pole sitter, takes the lead back. Jackson is right there. He has better tires. The 3 or 2 lap overcut may be the difference between the speed, and Jackson tails Rowe. The situation is reversed. Oh, but Jackson loses momentum. Here comes Downey. Did Rowe just pull it off? Jackson is gonna lose it again for his second year in a row. Unless that 0-8 can do something. Alexander Rowe got pole position, and in the pit stops, Thompson performed the undercut, Rowe needed to respond, and Jackson's wonky overcut is going to cost him the win for the second year in a row. And Alexander Rowe takes his third career win, and he takes the win in Vegas. Jackson threw it away with the overcut. It just wasn't the smartest strategy, and will not get his third win for himself. Instead, Rowe will get his third win, Downey will take third, Thompson will take fourth, and Nick Pericles will round out the top 5. And the important part, where did Scott Roush finish? 32nd. Paulson, 30th. That's a lot of points that Paulson just gained, but Rowe, the person that Roush did not want to see win this race, just pulled it off. Let's go look at your finishing results. So it's Alexander Rowe taking career win number 3, his first win outside of Kansas, here in Las Vegas in the first of 2 races of the doubleheader. Jackson will take second, Downey third, Thompson fourth, Pericles fifth, Finn Guy ties together a good day in 6th, Angel in 7th, Brock 8th, Halleck in 9th, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. will round out your top 10. But this is huge implications for points because Roush did not have a good day, but Roush will start what looks to be P11, but Roger Ray will be on pole position for the second race of the doubleheader because we do reverse this finishing order. This puts people like Lorenzo Log, Gerard Aron, all 3 Clever Haas are in great positions to start, but now Rowe's turn to make it through the pack. Jackson's turn to do it. This will give Roush a little bit of an advantage going in, but can he deal with it well? Congratulations, Alexander Rowe. Let's go look at your point position. So after your first of 2 races in Las Vegas for the doubleheader, Alexander Rowe has taken the points lead by 6 points over Scott Roush. Now it's Roush's turn to retaliate because he has a way better starting position than Rowe does. So Roush can really take advantage of this. But Fitzwater is now in the 3rd position. Actually was in the 3rd position last coming into this race. Few tussle position because Duncan is now in 4th, still in 4th, and Paulson has lost from 2nd to 5th. But still got some points and is gained on Roush nonetheless. Jackson is 62 points back from Rowe now. He's not that far. Jackson could take this points lead. Brock, 99 points back, could take this points lead in 7th. Pericles, the last person now eligible to take the points lead out of Vegas, at 101 points back. But Pericles can do it. Windhelm is out of it by 20. Mulcher lost 3 positions and is now out of the top 10. Finn Guy gained 5 positions and is now in 12th. Benoit Ravine lost 2. Carlson gained another. Carlson's getting back in this. Angel gained 6 more and is now in 15th. So Sean Angel, because Sean Angel currently had a bad finish in Sonoma, but has brought it back with a 7th here in Las Vegas. As we look back down through the field, you see people like Gatlin Downey gained 8 positions. Arndt lost 7. Jovic lost 7. Not a good day for Jovic. Vincent lost 4, which makes him now the worst rank A. So look at the rear of the field. It's Ray, Hurley, and Philip Scott not having a good championship. So look down at the Constructors' points. We have a new Constructors' points leader as well, and Maverick GP now leading over Roush Racing Enterprises, Epic Motorsports, Fitzwater Australia, Scott Ganassi, Full Frontal, Clever Haas, Shock Allison Racing, Trailblazer Motorsports, which is now actually getting pretty seriously into this for rank B. He could do it. Monarch Motorsports, Thunder Sport GP, Red Stallion Racing, HHR, and Saba Sport at the rear, as Red Stallion got a decent day, and right now they sit in the 12th position. But congratulations, Alexander Rowe, but he'll have to start from dead last in the second race here in Vegas, because we're reversing the finishing order, which also means Jackson has a lot of work to do. But Paulson and Roush could really take advantage of this situation. We'll have to see how they fare. Congratulations, Alexander Rowe, and we will see you in race number 2 here at the doubleheader in Vegas next time. Ciao.